Tonight, final preparations and growing excitement on the eve of the coronation of King Charles.
You were born in Canada twice.
You're looking very patriotic.
Plus, Adrian speaks with Governor General Mary Simon. Hot, dry weather and high winds. Albertans under increased threat from wildfires.
The fire is considered out of control at this time, and it's very dangerous.
The WHO declares an end to the global pandemic emergency, what it means for Canadians.
My concern is that people will interpret this that they don't have to worry about COVID anymore, and that would not be the correct take-home message.
This is The National in London with Ian Hannamansing.
We are outside Westminster Abbey tonight, where just hours from now, for the first time in 70 years, a British monarch will be crowned. Security is tight and anticipation keen. Along the procession route, royal fans have secured their seats, and the royals themselves have done a final walk through the plan. In the morning, King Charles will take the oath and send this monarchy down its next path. It was a busy last day for the royal family and one full of excitement for royal fans. Briar Stewart shows us the sights and sounds in a city primed for pageantry.
In the final hours, King Charles greeted some of the many in the waiting crowd.
You were born in Canada twice.
You're looking very patriotic.
This is the moment Bernadette Christie from Grand Prairie, Alberta, met the king.
I told him I saw him in Kelowna and Edmonton, which is kind of funny because he was with Diana then, but I didn't talk. I kept that to myself.
She's no stranger to camping out to catch royal events. This is her 7th trip to London and her 3rd night sleeping along the procession route.
We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Perfect place to pitch the tent.
Others felt the same when they got a chance to greet Will and Kate.
You're afraid bit of sunshine stays down, keep you all dry.
In the sun, part of the procession route looked a little like a big British backyard party, but tents were up and the rain did come. Even that, though, couldn't dampen the spirit.
He's going to make a perfect king. Simple reason is he's been brought up by the royal family, hasn't he?
These horses will be pulling the royal coaches in the processions. But in South London, there's another team and a different set of passengers.
Now, this is not a royal ride, but it is a replica of the more than 250-year-old Golden State coach, which will be used in the procession. This one came from the set of the television series Bridgerton, but it's being used as part of the pre-coronation excitement.
Queen Elizabeth described the real gold coach as being horribly uncomfortable, but the folks on board this one loved the experience.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Did you like it?
You sang horsey, didn't you?
Yeah. Was it bumpy?
The bumpy?
No.
No?
But of course, not everyone is thrilled by the spectacle. Back at Buckingham Palace, a few in the crowd came out to spread a different message.
This is an outdated and frankly offensive institution that promotes, you still celebrate inequality.
Thousands of police officers will be deployed across the city as dignitaries arrive from all over the world, some of whom got a chance to meet the king at a private reception ahead of the historic coronation service tomorrow. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
Among the hundreds of leaders, dignitaries and guests attending the coronation will be Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. His plane has now left for London. He'll be attending with Canada's delegation, including youth and Indigenous leaders, and Canada's flag bearer, astronaut Jeremy Hansen. As the preparations come to an end here in London, enthusiasm is building in Canada. Thomas Dagla follows the planning across our country for the crowning of Canada's new king.
Raising the flag for a royal celebration. At their British shop in Burlington, Ontario, father and son duo Chris and Sean Keld have laid out the supplies, from snacks to commemorative plates for early morning coronation viewing.
I'm not really a morning person, but my alarms will be set.
Years ago in London, Chris cooked for the would-be king. Now he's made a special quiche Lorraine for Charles's big day.
One day to remember, probably once in my lifetime, I'll see a coronation.
Here outside the Ontario legislature, there will be a 21-gun salute, a drum circle, and rides for the kids. But celebrations across Canada won't be as grandiose this time as they were 70 years ago, when this was a younger country and a young Elizabeth was being crowned as queen.
People have been reserved, maybe. Her Majesty had those are big shoes to fill.
In Fredericton, the Lieutenant Governor will be welcoming guests, while this Halifax chocolatier is making crown jewel treats, one color for each jewel.
Your glass of wine poured half full. This does not mean you do not see the sky.
The focal point of Canadian festivities will be in Ottawa, with performances from artists including poet Sabrina Benaim.
I do have complicated feelings about the monarchy, but I do think that it is happening and there are some really great important themes being highlighted, like the preservation of nature.
For some, it may be too early for pints, so at this Montreal pub, they'll be serving a coronation tea, with reservations pouring in.
All of us are a little bit surprised, also because of the time. Not so much because of the event itself, but we are talking 5 a.m. that we're opening the doors.
It's an early wake-up to witness history. And back in Burlington, they're keen to see the spectacle. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
And for those tuning in to the coronation, you'll be treated to a dazzling show, every step steeped in significance. And we have a guide to it all. That's coming up.
We live in a more diverse world. We live in a world that is more connected than it has ever been. We've never had a coronation subjected to this level of global scrutiny.
A royal historian takes Travis Danraj through the day and the details that make this coronation both traditional and unique. That's a little later in the show. And starting at 4 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, we'll have a CBC News special live coverage of the coronation itself. Adrian will be hosting from Buckingham Palace. I'll be here outside Westminster Abbey. You can watch on CBC TV, CBC News Network, Explore, and GEM. I'll be back later in the hour, but for now, let's send it over to Anita Bath in Vancouver with more of our top stories.
Thanks, Ian. Alberta continues to battle out-of-control wildfires. So far, more than 20,000 people have been told to flee. Hot, dry, and windy conditions are fanning the flames, and the evacuation areas continue to grow. Tonight, another major evacuation order, this time for the town of Edson, about 200 kilometers west of Edmonton. There are now more than 90 active wildfires, about a third of them out of control. Julia Wong spent the day near one and heard from some forced to run.
The feeling is unnerving as a wildfire burns near the town of Drayton Valley, about 150 kilometers southwest of Edmonton. Crews are working furiously from the air and on the ground.
The fire is considered out of control at this time, and it's very dangerous. The situation is constantly evolving and can change very quickly.
The risk so high, residents from the town and nearby county told they have to go. Like Charlie and Carolyn Kessler, who fled in the middle of the night, they are now living out of their motorhome.
It was scary, smoky, and getting everything done. It's so dry this year; it's terrible. Yeah, and we need rain.
Our house can be replaced. Anything in it. I'm here with my family and my friends, and my other family is safe.
Fire is also raging near Fox Lake, about 800 kilometers north of Edmonton. Up to 20 homes, a police station, and one business burned down Thursday night. Thousands forced to flee.
I'm really tired right now, but I still want to go home. I miss home. I see a lot of people talking to me, holding me, crying, and telling me what happened. They lost their homes, and my brother lost his home. My nieces lost their home, and I don't know what to say.
These winds and the heat is not making this firefighting any easy on the ground crews. Hopefully, weather permitting, and if the weather works with us, we can come back home. When? I do not know.
The province says there's been more wildfire activity this time of year compared to recent years.
There's a huge fire load in the province right now. Temperatures have been 10 to 15 degrees above normal for a little while now. We still don't have green grass and leaves all over the province, which means that the ground is very dry.
So, Julia, is there any relief in sight?
Well, Anita, crews from Ontario and Quebec are coming to Alberta to help with firefighting efforts, giving firefighters in this province a little bit of a breather. It's been very busy here since last weekend. And weather-wise, there may be some good news. As you've heard, it's hot, it's dry, it's gusty, a perfect storm to fuel these wildfires. Well, the forecast says there may be some rain falling this weekend.
Thanks, Julia. Wildfires also continue to displace people in Saskatchewan. In the province's northwest, many have left by bus to Regina. A blaze near the village of La Loche prompted an evacuation order Thursday night. Earlier this week, the Clearwater River Dene Nation fled that same fire. Across the province today, 6 fires remain uncontained, meaning they're expected to grow.
There's no confirmed spill of anything inside the train.
A train carrying what police are describing as dangerous goods derailed in Kingston, Ontario this morning. A small train bridge collapsed under it, and part of the CN freight fell into the water. At this time, police say there's no evidence of a spill. There were 3 crew members on board, but no reports of injuries. Well, today, the WHO has declared the COVID-19 pandemic as no longer being a global emergency. That decision made in part because of significantly fewer people dying. At the pandemic's height, January of 2021, more than 100,000 people were dying every week. As of last week, that number was about 3,500 worldwide. Christine Birak walks us through what the announcement means around the world and in Canada.
This is a historic moment.
It's therefore with great hope that I declare COVID-19 over as a global health emergency.
With this symbolic end, the World Health Organization reflected on 3 difficult years. While nearly 7 million deaths were reported, based on extra deaths worldwide, it's estimated the virus killed at least 20 million people. Health systems have been severely disrupted. Add to that serious economic damage, divisive social upheaval, and of course, the virus isn't gone.
The worst thing any country could do now is to use this news as a reason to let down its guard, to dismantle the systems it has built, or to send the message to its people that COVID-19 is nothing to worry about.
The situation in Canada right now is fairly stable, but I would say stable at a level that we would love to see it a lot lower.
The latest Canadian COVID-19 data show the number of hospitalizations has been decreasing this year, but remains stubbornly high. Currently, there are about 3,000 Canadians lying in hospital beds with the disease, and the virus killed 84 Canadians in the 3rd week of April, bringing the country's death toll to just over 52,000.
This is one of the viruses where vaccination plays an incredibly important role.
Doctors warn COVID is much deadlier than the flu. It's currently among the top 3 causes of death in Canada, and yet fewer than 20% of people over 60 have received a vaccine dose in the past few months.
One of my concerns is that in people who don't keep up to date on their vaccines because they perceive this as being over, they're increasing the risk of having long COVID or some of these other long-term health effects.
The World Health Organization says it will act again if a more infectious or deadlier variant emerges, adding surveillance remains key to keeping people safe. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Today, people across Canada marked Red Dress Day, an annual day of awareness for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Here's Olivia Stefanovic on the continued push for action.
A show of force at Winnipeg's most famous intersection. On Red Dress Day, demand for an end to the murders and disappearances of countless Indigenous women and girls.
I just feel like we haven't been served justice for a very, very long time.
We're people too.
So right now we're just showing that there are people out there standing up for our lives.
This project was that fight taken all the way to London. Lives lost, not forgotten, even as some Indigenous leaders gather for the coronation.
Awesome!
This red dress. Nikki Kumak-Siutiksak says little has improved since her cousin Jessica Michaels died 22 years ago.
We're human beings. Why is it okay that we are facing a genocide Why is it okay that this is happening and the government is not doing anything?
We've had a lot of prayers and thoughts and wringing of hands and promises to do better by all levels of government. And yet we end up with Indigenous women in garbage dumps.
The former chief commissioner of the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered doesn't know how to grade Ottawa's response to its recommendations. She says progress is hard to track and much too slow.
That's an observation that is difficult to refute.
The Crown-Indigenous Relations Minister says his government will announce new funding for Indigenous shelters soon. But money alone isn't going to stop the violence.
This is a tragedy that needs more than a response of public policy based on tragedy.
Fundamental change in the very way society values and treats lives. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
We know stories like this can be painful. If you need help, you can reach out. Call the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Crisis Line day or night at 1-844-413-6649. Tonight, dozens of Sudanese-Canadians are waiting and worrying to come here to this country and worrying about their families left behind in Sudan. David Common brings us some of their stories from Nairobi.
For dozens of Canadians, this was the moment of salvation. Escape from Sudan on board a Canadian airlift after a war between two men, competing generals, engulfed the nation they'd called home.
I think we moved out in the right time because the building that we were living at, it was shot after we went. We went out after for 1 day.
Destroyed?
Yeah, it was destroyed.
Ezra Fadul's husband, Ahmed Osman, is a Canadian citizen. She, like many now in Nairobi, are being processed to move within days to Canada. All expressed how grateful they are for the help, but worried about what comes next.
The problem is now, after we get there, most of the families here, it's their first time to get to Canada. So they don't know where to go. There is a big problem of accommodation.
Then there are those left behind. Almost everyone has a story of a relative not eligible for the Canadian airlift. For Zayn, it is her daughter. My poor child, she says. We talk on the phone and I cry. She's breastfeeding too.
That's your daughter now.
Yes. Norman Syed Mohammed Ali's daughter is near Khartoum. He came here hoping Canada could get her out. So far, he's heard nothing.
Is it dangerous where she is?
Very much. Crazy, don't imagine.
Attacks by tanks, artillery, and aircraft defy what was supposed to be a ceasefire now. Hospitals are largely shuttered. Those that aren't are overwhelmed. But getting aid in without a safe corridor agreed upon by the fighters is proving very challenging.
It's vital that we have those commitments.
We caught up with the UN's humanitarian chief. He's talking to those generals, but says he needs all Sudanese fighters on board.
Yes, you can get commitments at this highest level. And if we do not buttress them and reinforce them with detailed, granular, local arrangements, we can't trust it.
These evacuees will arrive in Canada within days, safe, but with an enormous journey ahead and fears for all those who haven't made it out. David Common, CBC News, Nairobi.
Turning to Ukraine, where the head of the notorious Russian mercenary army Wagner is again threatening to quit Bakhmut unless Moscow sends ammunition. In a video message, Yevgeny Prigozhin criticized Russia's defense ministry, saying his troops have done the bulk of the fighting and dying in Bakhmut. He warned Moscow to resupply him immediately or he'll pull his fighters out next Wednesday. He has made similar threats in recent months. Today, Serbian police arrested a suspect in the country's second mass shooting this week. The overnight attack, committed from a moving car, killed 8 people south of the capital, Belgrade. It comes just 2 days after a 13-year-old boy opened fire at a school with his father's gun, killing 8 students and a school guard.
Back here in London, Britain is only hours away from crowning a new king, and it's also getting a new queen.
I mean, she was the wicked witch when it was all announced, but now she's the fairy godmother.
The rehabilitation of Camilla in a country still moving on from Elizabeth. Next. What will King Charles's reign mean for the Crown's relationship with Indigenous peoples?
People are looking for change. They are looking for positive change.
Coming up, Adrian's interview with Governor General Mary Simon. Plus, a new generation of royal watchers weigh in. We're back in 2.
And he came along and literally shook hands with everyone who was at the front. King Charles, come over, come over. He walked right over to us, he was there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of shock, to be honest. I can't quite believe we've just met His Majesty the King.
More of the overflowing emotions from people as King Charles took time earlier today for a meet and greet. Many are camped out on the Mall, waiting for tomorrow's big moment. Tomorrow will be transformative, not just for Charles, but for Canada's new Queen Camilla. Chris Brown spoke with 2 people who have watched Camilla very closely over the years and believe she is ready for this.
She was with us so long. To people anywhere on the planet, she was simply known as the Queen. But with the coronation, the transition, years in the making, to a new Queen will be fully complete.
You do have this privileged front row seat.
Royal photographer Chris Jackson has witnessed the evolution of Queen Camilla up close.
She's got real energy. I mean, at an age where many people have retired, she is stepping up to the biggest job of her life.
Jackson says the 2 queens could not be more different. One was born into the job, the other had to earn it.
She has a very, friendly and approachable manner, which I think it really resonates with people that she meets.
You would like a marmalade sandwich?
Hearkening to an endearing skit for the Platinum Jubilee when Bear and Monarch bonded over marmalade sandwiches. Not long after the former Queen's death, Jackson took this photo of Camilla surrounded by Paddington bears.
I think but it symbolised kind of respect that everyone had for Queen Elizabeth, and that was a really nice moment.
Among Jackson's other favourite Camilla photos is this one, taken during COVID.
She embraced it and she made it into a positive. So she kind of showcased different British designers' face masks, and I thought that kind of summed up an element of her character and personality.
Charles and Camilla's relationship goes back to before Diana, who infamously referred to Camilla as a third person in their marriage. After her death and Charles and Camilla's wedding, Camilla's long rehabilitation progressed from Duchess to Queen Consort, and now finally Queen.
I mean, she was the wicked witch when it was all announced, but now she's the fairy godmother. Everybody loves her now.
Come back. Arthur Edwards is the Dean of Royal Photographers. His photos of the previous Queen, like this one at the Jubilee, are iconic. But he says his relationship with Camilla is also special.
I call her ma'am, she calls me Arthur.
He credits Camilla's rehabilitation with the public to her warmth and a genuine interest in the causes she's championed.
Osteoporosis, which her mother died of, she's campaigned for that. And many, many more charities.
In stressful situations, such as after the Queen's death, Edwards says Camilla demonstrated her cool.
And if you recently saw an incident with a pen, when the pen leaked, and he got very stressed about that. And she calmed him down immediately,
Have we underestimated Camilla?
I think we have underestimated Camilla. I mean, she has actually risen to the occasion. If this is his destiny, this was what he was born to do. And she was there, but just to support him.
The former Queen may be gone, but some days it seems like she's not that far. A continuing presence during this time of royal transition. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Charles's coronation will usher in a new era for the royal family and also for its relationship with Canada's Indigenous peoples.
I think it's a new beginning that we are embarking on.
Up next, we'll hear from the Governor General, as well as one of the country's most prominent Indigenous leaders, about what they hope to see moving forward. And in tomorrow's coronation, what's new and what's old?
7 decades is a long time. It's really a time capsule. We're going to see a lot of what happened in 1953 happen again, but we are also going to see these modern touches.
Coming up, Travis Danraj walks us through what to watch for. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next. All day, world leaders have been landing in London ahead of the King's coronation tomorrow. He welcomed representatives of Commonwealth nations into Buckingham Palace earlier for a meet and greet, one of the many meetings he's having at this busy time. And earlier, he held a historic one with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis leaders from Canada, along with the Governor General. Many people are hoping the new king might reset the Crown's relationship with Indigenous peoples. And tonight we have two perspectives on that, beginning with a conversation that Adrian had with Mary Simon about the meeting yesterday.
What struck you about that meeting?
The fact that the three national Indigenous leaders were there to speak to the king was a moment that I shall cherish for a long time.
When you say cherish, why cherish? What is it?
Because I saw a discussion that was very intimate in many ways. I was kind of facilitating the process. They had a very, I think, frank discussion between themselves. I think it's a new beginning that we are embarking on.
Were you able to raise the matter of reconciliation? Were you able to raise even the matter of an apology or reparations in any way?
We talked about reconciliation because in Canada, that's what we are talking about a great deal these days, about how to reconcile in Canada between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. It also includes the Crown because the relationship with the Crown is very complex. There has been some big challenges related to that, but we have to also remember that in Canada, there's been a lot of movement to settle the claims of Indigenous people, and the fact that we are going through a process of reconciliation, and those mattered very much to the king.
Is there something that surprised you today? Was there a question he asked or something he said that is still rattling around for you?
Each of the leaders spoke about their own situation with the people that they represent, and it gave a very kind of fulsome overview of what we are facing in Canada, but at the same time, they also realized that they wanted to start slowly with this conversation, with this relationship with the king, so that they can understand the issues more fully, that the king can understand and appreciate more fully the situation that Indigenous peoples face in Canada. Some of the positive things that have happened in Canada, which there is, numerous things that have happened over the years. So it's a dialogue, it's a beginning, and there will be other sessions.
Is there not a fatigue in constantly having to explain?
Life is a lifelong experience of explaining for Indigenous people. This, Indigenous people are very resilient people, and they take every opportunity to talk about their own identity and their own culture and their own challenges. And I think that's part of the process. That's part of living your life, working towards bettering your own communities. And I don't think that ever stops. People are looking for change. They are looking for positive change. And whether there's going to be an apology in the future is not something that was discussed today.
That word didn't come up?
That was
apology?
not, no. Well, it came up, but it was not discussed. In the future, there will be other difficult issues that will be brought up into the conversation. But the dialogue and the communication is very important, because communicating is action as well. People often talk about after apology, we need action. Well, part of that action is having this dialogue and this conversation to agree on things that they can move forward.
Another perspective on Charles's relationship with Indigenous peoples comes from Perry Bellegarde, former National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations. He's met with Charles many times and is in town for the coronation. And he spoke to Adrian earlier about why Charles's reign gives him hope.
Thank you for joining us. What does it feel like for you to be here right now?
Oh, it's amazing. The energy, the atmosphere, to witness this coronation happening for King Charles III. He's our treaty partner as First Nations people. He's our treaty partner. We have a Crown First Nations relationship. And so this is history in the making. I'm very honored and humbled to be here.
What has kept that relationship strong?
Well, it kept it strong through the name-giving ceremony back in 2001. Elder Gordon Oaks from Nikanit First Nation bestowed the name of Kisikaupi Simawa Miu Kanawa Pamago in Cree, which means the sun watches over him in a good way. So because of that relationship through that name-giving ceremony, the blanketing ceremony, it built upon that treaty relationship with the Crown, but now we have that spiritual connection. And that leads into this work now that he's doing through the Terra Carta and the Sustainable Market Initiative. And it's a really strong growing movement. So it's very fitting from the name to the work he's doing now.
But between you two, what has kept the relationship strong? Because he meets so many people. He has meaningful, brief interactions with so many people. It's different with you.
I think it's just the connection that we have. Like he's embraced our Indigenous worldview, if you will. And so because of that, and because of our strong connection through treaty, we've maintained that relationship. And you know, when my wife Valerie and I were very humbled when he invited us to his house 4 years ago to ask for our help on this very important work going forward. And so we agreed to help to bring the Indigenous perspective, our elders' traditional knowledge, to the work about global sustainable development.
I see an excitement in you that feels really genuine.
I'm very hopeful because he's so committed, and he's already demonstrated his commitment to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. He's demonstrated an environmental reconciliation. And to me, that's a bright hope and a future for future generations. This individual, he's inherited, sure, the monarchy and colonialism, all those negative things, but he's already starting to talk about how to build a better relationship. He's already starting to talk about the necessity of service, public service, and duty to serve everybody. I see that sincerity in him. And because of that, I think people should, you know, when they view the monarchy or King Charles in a negative way, give the individual a chance.
And when you say give him a chance, what action makes those words look like a promise kept?
He's already met with the Indigenous leadership from Canada. What a strong, powerful message to embrace the Indigenous leadership, even before his coronation, you know, and demonstrated his willingness to listen.
Is there something about the coronation service itself, and I know you know some of the details about what's going to happen, that those of us looking on should look for as a signal of precisely what you're talking about?
You know, he's trying to make it more grounded, make it more human, make it more heartfelt and sincere, so people get it, that it's almost like a spiritual calling. You know, that's what people should get a sense of and feel, that a spiritual calling to a sense of duty, a sense of purpose, sense of public service for all of us. People should look for that.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
And tomorrow at Westminster Abbey, we'll see those 3 Indigenous leaders who met with the King Thursday. They're members of Canada's delegation. Tomorrow's coronation of King Charles will have strong echoes of the past, with many of the same traditions used to crown his mother, the Queen. But it will also have some of its own modern elements.
This is now his time, and I think we will see a more accessible monarchy.
Up next, Travis Danraj looks at the key things to watch for tomorrow. Coronation just hours away now, promising a mix of ancient rituals and modern updates. Enough pomp and circumstance to get lost in, but not to worry. Travis Danraj is here to guide us through what to expect.
Okay, if you're not quite sure what's going to happen during the big coronation, don't worry, you're not alone. One of these hasn't happened in 70 years. So we got you with the ultimate guide, the top 5 things you need to know. But first, a little trip down memory lane.
The Queen takes the jeweled sword, the sword of justice and mercy, and offers it at the altar.
Seven decades is a long time.
It's really a time capsule. We're going to see a lot of what happened in 1953 happen again, but we are also going to see these modern touches. We have got elements of the coronation that have not changed since the 1600s. It's been updated certainly over the centuries, but these roots go back to, we think some of them might even be the Anglo-Saxon period before the Normans invaded in 1066.
Let's start with the big ride. A grand procession from Buckingham Palace along the famous Mall toward Westminster Abbey. The wheels of choice, a 6-horse-drawn carriage known as the Diamond Jubilee State Coach. The crown on top, carved from timber of a 1700s naval ship, so historic, yeah, but with some modern tech. A lightweight aluminum body, 6 hydraulic stabilizers, and that crown on top includes a camera rig to film the ride. 39 kings and queens have been crowned here, the first William the Conqueror in 1066. Charles will stand beside the coronation chair, the Archbishop of Canterbury will present him, and the congregation will shout, "God save the King!"
And then him and Camilla will be seated, and the Archbishop will ask Charles, "Is Your Majesty willing to take the oath?"
What's the oath?
So the oath is, will Your Majesty uphold the laws and customs of Great Britain, Canada, and then some of the other territories?
Right.
And he'll say, yes, I will. And then, will you agree to do law and justice and mercy? And he says, yes, I will. And will you agree to uphold the laws and traditions of the Church of England? Yes, I will.
So will Camilla be part of this part of the ceremony?
She will have her own sort of mini coronation within the service.
The anointing comes next. The king takes his seat. And this next part is delicate for a number of reasons. That chair, the coronation chair, is 700 years old and extremely fragile. It was carved around 1300 and described as one of the most precious pieces of furniture in the world. Once gently seated, Charles will be anointed with holy oil using the coronation spoon, the most ancient item of the ceremony. By the way, this is the most sacred part of the ceremony, but you're not going to see it because it's done in private. What's the most important part of the coronation?
It's usually the anointing. That is the most personal moment for the monarchs, and that's the only moment that it's so sacred, it's not going to be shown. To be anointed is the ultimate sign of sort of God's approval, that you are being anointed for God's service.
The oil that he has is not going to have any animal products, unlike his mother.
So that's one of the aspects that Charles can control. There are these little things that he can change that do reflect his values, and that he can say, this is the imprint, this is the legacy I've made on this event.
Now the big moment, the crowning. And of course, this is where the major bling comes out. They'll be regaled with crown jewels, everything from the sovereign's ring adorned with large sapphire and baguette-cut rubies to orb and scepter. One well-known jewel, however, won't be used as part of the ceremony. The Koh-i-Noor is one of the largest cut diamonds in the world, nearly 106 carats. Beautiful, yes, but some say the British stole it. It's been decided it won't be used in Camilla's crown.
Was an heirloom of Indian history for centuries. There is this question of, if it is so important to their history, why is it owned by Britain? Why is it kept by the British? And it raises this question, not just for Britain, but for all of these former imperial powers. Do imperial powers have claim to the history of their former colonies?
How important is that in this moment that is kind of transition to have inclusion and representation in all of these events?
Inclusion and representation is critical to the monarchy moving forward. It is not the British Empire anymore. Charles is the head of a commonwealth of nations where everyone is equal. And the majority of people, the majority of citizens who have him as their king are not white Europeans.
One final bit of pomp and circumstance, an homage to the new king. Ever heard of that saying, kiss the ring? Charles sits on his literal throne, and then high-ranking officials one by one place their hands on his knee, swear allegiance to him, touch the crown, and kiss his right hand. What are the optics of all of this?
Well, I mean, it's all symbolic. I think most people acknowledge the fact that no one is taking it as a literal oath of obedience and swearing allegiance per se. But I think the palace is aware that the optics are a bit fishy, would be the delicate way to put it.
There are so many considerations to make with all of these little details.
There are, and we live in a more diverse world. We live in a world that is more connected than it has ever been. We've never had a coronation subjected to this level of global scrutiny.
So, all done? Not quite yet. There's the trip back home, a quick wardrobe change for the king to put on the imperial state crown, and a new ride. The Gold State Coach, 8,000 pounds and pulled by 8 Windsor Greys. No stabilizers like ride number 1, so it's a bit bumpy and it goes slow, like real slow. But a chance for onlookers to get a proper glimpse.
This is now his time, and I think we will see a more accessible monarchy. I think we will see one that is more environmentally conscious, and one that is showing itself more willing and open to change. The era of the monarchy sticking its head in the sand and hoping crises will pass is gone.
Justin, thank you. Chin chin.
Chin chin.
And there's been an addition to some of what you just heard, the part where high-ranking attendees swear allegiance. For the first time, there'll be an invitation for the public to join in, if they so choose, to create a chorus of millions of voices around the world. Well, Anita, that is it from us in London tonight. But of course, I'll be back here in just a few hours for the coronation itself.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a remarkable day. What are you looking forward to the most, Ian?
Well, you know, after all the planning, after reading how things are supposed to proceed tomorrow, to actually see that happen, especially just a few meters away from where we're standing, looking forward to that. But also hoping the weather doesn't follow what the forecast says. It's calling for rain, as it did today. Hopefully, at least when they do the outdoor portions, that rain will hold off. So we'll see, Anita.
Can't wait to watch. Thanks, Ian.
I'm going to want to be the King of Canada.
Coming up, showing these young kings and queens for a royal tea party in our moment. Take a look at these little kings and queens ahead of the coronation. Teachers at Roslyn Elementary in Montreal seized the opportunity to teach a little history and have a little fun. The children wore their crowns and put the kettle on for a royal tea party. The chance to be king and queen for a day is our moment.
If you were queen today, what would be the first thing you would do?
Have a tea party.
What a great way to celebrate it by actually enacting out a real tea party so they can celebrate a royal celebration.
You are a queen, give me a cheer. If you were queen right now, what would be the first thing you would do?
Eat breakfast.
We wanted the students to know what it feels like to be a queen or a king.
Sammy, why do you want to be a king?
I like being king. I'm going to want to be the King of Canada.
Hi, Queen.
Prince always marry us and kiss us, but they don't. It's gross.
Children need to have fun while learning. It was a great success.
Have a tea party, eat some breakfast. I think they're on the right track. I imagine the food at Buckingham Palace is probably pretty tasty. That's the National for May 5th. Have a good night.